Thank you. Well, hello everyone. My name is Tony, and I'm the product design consultant for WinWing. Thank you. It is a real pleasure to be here today to share our progress and our vision with the fellow aviators. Time flies. I'm excited to reconnect with some familiar faces from last year in Vegas. And to those who joined us for the first time, welcome, and thank you for being part of the FSExpo 2025 and being a part of our legacy. A bit for myself, I began involving flight simulation when I was 16, and 19 years later, I'm still in this areas, and I'm the fortunate enough ones or the lucky few be able to involve in the real airline business. So I'm currently flying the Boeing 737 for one of the U.S. major airlines here. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. So for those who may have not heard us before, WinWing is a hardware company, and they're focusing on bringing the professional level of trading device to the consumer market. Now, last year, we turned our vision into realities and share our product in the communities to showcase what we do best. Since then, we have received a wealth of feedbacks from bush pilots to airline operators and combat veterans, and we have received a lot of suggestions, constructive critiques, and all those great feedbacks. So on behalf of a WinWing team member, thank you for supporting us throughout our journey. Thank you.
Yeah.
So 2024 is the year that we transition for our technology validation to production. Our product lines has already deeply integrated with the Microsoft flight simulators, X-Planes, DCS, and the Falcon VMS. What we were aiming for is not just providing a solution or not just providing a hardware, but to deliver an immersive, true-to-scale experience with the both hardware and software that brings you closer to the real thing. Now, so for the cyber terrorists, that's our force feedback yoke, and based on our debut in the March, we also had an upgrade for the exterior things for this one, finding that the better balance between the industrial designs and the practical use. The brand new Outlook also comes with integrated die casting with aviation-grade aluminum alloy. The cyber terrorists will come with two models with a full version for force feedback gradients. It's a further validation for bringing us commercial qualities into the consumer market. Now, I won't dive into this crazy, stuff back there. So it's just a generic description for our force feedback models. We have reconstruct the whole flight control system based on a real aviation engineer standards. Next generation of our software will include every aircraft control data we could possibly find. With the state-of-the-art algorithms that we have and a precision hardware, we're able to say we have a recreated actual relationship between the stick force, attitude, G-loads, and air data. So now, our software as a part of this part of the product are so good, it reminds me of a great quote from a computer science, Alan Kay. Alan said, people who are really serious about their software should make their hardware. Now, that's exactly what we have achieved. Sorry, that was a mistake. So we have developed a unique multi-channel feedback technology to help the hardware process in the different types of feedback signal at the same time to achieve a precision control originated with the different aircrafts, from different aircrafts. And from the product upgrades to the production capacity layouts, and we're also getting a solid boost from our supply chain. The full capacity productions of the third factories WinWing will achieve in 2026. Now we will continue to shorten the time frame for the product being delivered. Now we understand some of the challenges for our customers. They're waiting a long time to getting that product shipped. So yeah, we're solving that problem as we speak. Now let's get back to our product lineup. Now this year we'll come up with a closer to finish setup for you. As we can see, the full ecosystem is coming alive. For civilian pilots, this chapter is dedicated to you. Now, so for ATC panels, comm panels, transponder panels. Thank you.
We're gonna have a whole damn cockpit.
Oh yeah. So we refuse now. Say that we don't want to shrink the panel design to fit this, to fit that. The scale is a very important thing for us because we want everyone to have a transferable or at least comparable motor skills to remember when reaching for the controls. So everything you see here is true to scale. It's just like the real thing, like the real scale on the real aircraft. Panel and switches. Also, we promised to give a plug and play for all those panels. We keep that promise on all control products that we're able to see with our SIM App Pro software. Now, the more important things I believe everybody concerned about was the price. I used to say, yeah, how about that? So how about that? All right, comm panels. Now transponder.
Yeah.
Woo!
Now we have the new panels over here.
Whoa!
As we'll see, landing gears, all the clocks over here. It's a full structure design and a metal landing gear lever, available in 2 configurations, full or compact. So take your pick. Yeah. Also, semi-pro plug and play. Now 2 panels design, also aerial mounting solutions as well. Now let's see.
Yeah.
All right, you can. So, same.
$50.
That's a very bold statement. So still, same thing, right? Full structure mold design, continue to confer with the extension design, and also mirror mounting solutions. ECAM.
Whoa!
Full structure model design, authentic and realistic for aircraft control fields.
Maybe.
Now, all in one design. You can put it with the whole things on the setup with just 5 structure with the support structures. 5 of them, you will have everything set up. No problem. There we go.
Yes.
So, following the rod and rudder pedals for combat flight, this time we'll bring the new civilian aviation versions for you all. If we compare the ways of interaction, the combat version steps via the arch with a 30 degrees travel of your toe. Airline versions control the heels at 15 degrees your toe. So, all that said, pressure point on the pressure point on the paddles for your foot and its anchor point of the rod will exactly replicate for the real rudder paddles deflections on the aircraft. Same as the travel range for paddles when you step down. So, and it's a new design, high strength metal skeleton design, always built to last. Ready?
Yes.
Now, they are a force feedback version for it.
Oh!
We actually have 2 force feedback version for it. So you see the black shape stuff on the backside of the rudder. Cyberterrorist modules, now we got force feedback in the rudder. That device has more solid strength structure than the original rudder, and it's also the auto switching features on the different types of aircraft, right? Plug and play, it's gonna sense, it's gonna switch the actual profile. You don't need to intervene.
Oh!
Alright, so this one with the higher control panel pressures, this one will be $599 with higher pressures. That's the final price over there. For our combat panels, same thing, with the force feedback things on the back. $499. So I won't repeat the previous slides. It's a true to scale, a recreation, true to life, control motion dynamic, auto switching functions. The load are awesome on this thing. So we have those numbers over there already.
1200.
So it's like a true, maybe on a grip, ergonomical grip, realistic curvatures, true to life, control motion dynamics, high density power integrations, high torque, low reductions, minimum inertia, those kind of things. Auto switching, so you don't need to intervene, right? Plug and play.
Where's the red line?
I'm sorry. All right, now for our combat veterans. We dedicate this chapter to you. WinWing partnered with the world-class flight simulator developer the Eagle Dynamics to forge the ultimate weapon for the true skyhawker. The MiG-29 grips. The MiG-29 HOTAS, it's Total Command, a legendary MiG-29. In-depth collaboration with the ED, featuring exclusive system integrations and seamless fusion of software and hardware. It's a metal framework engineered to take extreme G-load. And if you want to use this thing on other aircraft, no problems. They're all part of our ecosystem. Surprise for it. The throttles. Now, the MiG-29 hardware is our focus right now for a little while, on this side of the business. It's not just a simple collaboration, it's a shared adventure on the road of hardcore simulations. With the Eagle Dynamics help, we'll be able to recreate the flight characteristics of MiG-29 in the normal flights or the combat scenario. I believe our adventure will provide an immersive experience for combat aviators. Now, this is our full new release line for WinWing since our announcements in the March Saboteur series. The Saboteur and the Ursa Minor airline throttles has been in the heat of discussion. Now we feel passion for the build-ups. Normally, the product aging testing take about 2 months before the mass productions. But the Saboteur needs to break the traditional technology limit to meet a higher civilian aviation standards. So well, thank you so much for waiting and patiently as we push the technology boundaries further and further. Now, to end with the positive notes, we are speeding up our delivery as we speak to ensure quality and the sustainability on the business model. And I wanted to tell you guys our new products are coming soon. At the end of this presentation, we would like to invite each and every one of you stop by our booth at 402. We have a prepared and exciting dogfight contest between the F-16s and the DCS MiG-29s, and there's a big prize for the winner. Or you can hop in our two-pilot cockpit to experience our products downstairs. Before we're closing out, so in the past year, more and more pilots have joined us. Behind this are countless takeoffs and landings in the middle of the night. So unwavering pursuit of the into reality on our ideas, and I will say that thank you for being here, and thank you for being our legacy, and let's make this your legacy as well. So the engines are warmed up at our booth already, and welcome on board. My name is Tony. Thank you for your time. I will see you down there. Thank you.
Ooh, hot stuff.
I swear to God, I bet you guys
Hey folks, how's everybody doing today? Woo! Let's see, Tony got us warmed up here. My name's Alex Liss. I'm a co-founder of Shirley. I'm also a commercial multi-engine and instrument-rated pilot working on my CFI. We're working on Shirley, who's your co-pilot from sim to sky. Shirley works as an assistant, as a coach, and as a trainer. I'm gonna have Shirley introduce himself here. Here, get the audio on here if I will back it up.
First, let's see how. Shirley here. I'm your aviation co-pilot, assistant, and coach, helping you bridge your flying from sim to sky. First, let's see how easy it is to get connected. I live directly in your browser, and connection to the sim can be made with just a single click. Let's see now. Tune the physics. Now let's see if you can tune the flying. Ready when you are.
Hey Shirley, you sound like somebody we in the audience all know.
Ha, you caught me. I do sound like Austin Meyer, but don't tell X-Plane's creator or he might get jealous. Standing by in the Lancair Evolution when you're ready to connect.
All right, I'm ready to connect to the sim. I'm gonna connect it for you right now. Also work.
Connected and standing by at Burlington International. I see we're on the ramp in the Evolution turbine. Brake set. Let me know what you'd like to do.
All right, let's do a intersection departure here. Can you actually configure the flaps and the lights and what else do we need to get going here?
Now, I've got a view from the co-pilot seat. Setting up for departure. Flaps to take off, taxi and strobes on. Don't forget your flows, and the ITT will be our friend today.
All right, flaps are good, fuel is good, trim is good, the lights are on. We're looking, and we'll take action. I'll let you control the gear once we get airborne. What's rotation speed?
With the Evolution's customized profile, I know rotation speed is 77 knots. Also, I can navigate to almost any airport in the world.
All righty, here we go.
And at 10,000 plus training-ready airports, I can give you precise guidance down to the runway. Plus, finally know what the closest runway is. You're almost there. Landing lights on for departure. For training, I could also put you in the pattern or on a 5-mile final, schedule failures, or manage the autopilot.
And Shirley, can you set midnight Zulu?
And configuring conditions is a snap. Time set to midnight Zulu. Want me to bring that gear up for you?
Yes, please, 2300 Zulu.
Gear coming up. Time set to 2300 Z. Looking good on that climb out.
All right, so last year, thanks. It was a lot of fun. We had a ton of capabilities since last year. Last year, we actually launched at FSExpo. However, if anybody remembered it last year, it was maybe not very much more than just flying with ChatGPT talking to you. Shirley kind of barely paid attention to what was going on in the flight, although it could kind of cosplay that fairly well. We've done a lot of work in the last year to get some better product ready for you. And just to begin with, we started with some remarkably basic fixes. Shirley used to say asterisk, asterisk all the time. We also introduced a challenge format. It's a kind of an open format that allowed you to build your own challenges and let other people go through them. And then we offered an initial private pilot training course directly inside of Shirley. Then we released a 1.14, which allowed Shirley to finally pay attention to what was going on inside the cockpit, as well as do things like configure radios and brakes and things like that. And then we introduced aircraft profiles. With aircraft profiles, it was finally adaptable to the specific airplane that you were flying in, whether that was the Beta VTOL aircraft in X-Plane, or whether that was Austin's Lancair Evolution turbine. We introduced navigation to waypoints because Shirley really didn't have a flying idea of where another airport was in the world. Even though these sort of language models have this remarkable property that if you ask, hey, what's the coordinate for, I don't know, I-59 airport in Claremont, it would be able to give you an exact coordinate and potentially even at the beginning of the runway or the end of the runway. We relied on that for a long time. We introduced a new voice system where Shirley wouldn't any longer need to have the last word we're speaking. It allowed us to introduce a vampire voice for Halloween, and it allowed us to bring Austin Meyer's voice into the system as well. A SIM data system allowed us to formalize how data got into the SIM and start to open up the actual protocol that the SIM could connect to directly using WebSockets. And we'll talk a little bit about that and the open protocols and things like that in a little bit later that I encourage folks to take a look at. Due to some loving feedback by Swiss001, we introduced something called assistant mode, which definitely made it so that if you were talking to Shirley wouldn't respond unless you actually said Shirley's name. That was a major takeaway from that video if anybody else saw that. We introduced some training features, so we introduced failures for pilot training. So Shirley would be able to fail your engine at a particular airspeed or altitude or something like that. Proactive Shirley, so if you stalled your airplane, Shirley would say, hey, you're stalling your airplane, or if you landed, Shirley would be like, oh, welcome back to planet Earth. All right, take a look at this picture. This is a real picture shown by an actual pilot, a helicopter pilot, who followed Shirley's precise directions and was able to have a very irregular pattern as a result of that. It's not the best work by Shirley actually in this circumstance. So we introduced traffic pattern directions, a system in order to manage that. We introduced an autopilot and sim control system, so you could actually configure the weather, ask Shirley to configure the weather exactly how you want, engage the autopilot, pause the sim. There's a bunch of features in X-Plane and other sims that are hard to access, like freezing your position over the ground, pausing the sim, giving you a little bit more time if you don't have an amazing setup like the ones that Tony and others are selling, to be able to make the most of your sim and bring some structure to your flying and make the most out of the instrument flying or the other sort of conditions that you'd like to bring about inside the cockpit. All right, here's another customer note. Let's read that. So it said, Shirley kept thinking it's runway 30 when it was really 21. And then I told her that it was 21, it updated all the headings, but still had no idea where the runway was. And once, even though she told me to do left-hand side pattern, she gave me a heading in the opposite direction. All right, so, a lot of these, the good news is that a lot of these problems are solved for you. We have an airport database and enhanced position awareness, so Shirley knows where the airport is and can find other airports, knows your position on the runway. You wouldn't think login is that big of a deal, but it was for us because prior to a certain point a couple months ago, you would have been able to use Shirley without paying if you were able to do it in a clever way. We improved their challenge system, so now it used to be that Shirley would have to bring you to the next phase of the challenge. The challenge is broken up by phases, and so Shirley would have to bring you to the next phase. But now we have a system that then is on the side looking at your overall state of your flight and is able to bring you to the next phase of the challenge. And that adds a lot. With an enhanced autopilot system and custom aircraft profiles, in this particular release, we allowed Shirley to bring you to a particular point in the pattern. You can put yourself on like a 7-mile final for any particular airport that you want to go on. It really helps with the pilot training. Separate from that, we started kind of doing this example, it's this test more or less, which is, all right, if Shirley can fly the airplane, all by herself, then they'd be able to teach other people how to fly. And so we gave Shirley full control of the autopilot through the challenge system and said, hey, bring us to this other airport, try to land. We did a live stream of that. It went terribly. Shirley did a really bad job at that, but it's a benchmark that we're going to be doing in order to improve Shirley long term. And we just released an advanced queuing system. So sometimes, Shirley has something to say, but there's a really dynamic environment. And so not only do we have more of a rock solid voice system, but now we have the foundation for Shirley interrupting you, even if you're speaking, to talk about something critical. All right, so the systems, here are some of the systems that we talked about here and introduced this year. But these are actually open platform systems. And so, when I say open platform, we are publishing our specifications for these aircraft profiles and challenges and sim data using WebSockets directly on our GitHub as well as on our website. In particular, I just want to talk for one moment about the WebSocket technology. So with WebSocket technology, you can build a application right in the browser that is a plugin for your simulator. And I think that's really powerful because that allows you to be able to use all these really fancy web development technologies and bring it right in the browser. And then if another sim also supports that WebSocket technology, so Xplaner is sort of the leader there right now, and another sim can support that sort of technology, then you'd be able to have your plugin instantly support that other sim. And I think that's really the value of these sort of standardized protocols for sim data. This is just an example of an ICD, and we put a bunch of effort into it. I think it's pretty good. One thing that sim manufacturers can do in order to, can do is they can support WebSockets, and then they'd be able to support a lot of different sims. But if sim manufacturers also kind of bring these sort of tablets into the cockpit that are able to display web browsers, that's really another powerful thing that helps move this technology, not just ours, but all plugin makers, especially in an era of vibe coding. So who is Shirley? Of course, I'm here with my co-founder, Jack. I really appreciate him. But also Shirley is, many of you here in the audience, we couldn't be more thankful for the contributions of the community. So, we've got Michael, 8033 Foxtrot, Juan, he actually made integrations into multiple different simulators. So he built an integration for Shirley directly into Condor, which is this gliding simulator. And Frank with Virtual Aviation Aviator has just been such a supporter from the very beginning. We couldn't be more thankful for that. Let's talk a little bit about our flight path. We've got logbooks and ATC support. Now, we'd love Shirley to be able to end up in the cockpit to help make flying safer. We're starting in sim and we're building our way over to flight. It's important for us to do it responsibly, which is why we're starting with flight simulators. We're bringing a version of Shirley which actually is getting better over time. So we started building our own versions of Shirley, which is its own language model like ChatGPT. And we've released that, and we're releasing that as part of assistant mode, which is a faster responding, but is also going to get better over time as we get feedback from our users. Eventually make it in flight. Training is a big emphasis for us, and so if you are looking at how to train folks how to fly airplanes, custom curriculum is very easy for us to make using the challenge format. We're teaching Shirley to basically learn how to teach others, to basically teach Shirley, and Shirley can teach other people. We do control highlighting now. You can see that this weekend.
Hello everyone.
And
Hey
what's
Evan, Phil, and Alex. My name's Chris and I'm the flight simulation lead here at Sporty's Pilot Shop. For over 60 years, Sporty's has been training and educating pilots as they progress through the different stages of learning to fly. And about a year ago, I started flying with Shirley and collaborating with Alex on a couple ideas we could deploy for our distinct customer groups. By combining the Shirley AI flight coach with the training content in our Learn to Fly course, online ground school, we're creating a pipeline for new interactive training content powered by AI. Eventually, we'll be able to provide an interactive maneuver briefing, in-flight assistance, and a detailed debriefing of how the user performed. We're in the middle of our development process, but we're thrilled to be collaborating on a product to help pilots prepare for their lessons while allowing any sim lover to train like a pilot. We're excited to share this with everyone, and I can't wait to talk more.
This year, and Shirley will be available on the Sporty's web shop in the coming weeks. This weekend, we're on site with Beta Technologies. I used to lead the flight simulation team over there at Beta. It's now Vincent. Vincent's at the booth with us this weekend. He brought a couple sims down, including a full motion, or including a partial motion VR And you'll be able to try that Beta 250 training challenge with Shirley teaching you how to fly this weekend. At Oshkosh, we're going to be at the MN Dot booth teaching people about electric aviation through Shirley. And at home, if you're at home, then there's always a 1 week free trial of Shirley. So please go give it a try. And so, I couldn't be more thrilled on a personal note to be here with all of you. Being part of this community is such a dream. Being able to essentially build flight sim technology and have awesome people try it out. How can that be a job? Doesn't seem real, but it's just such a blessing. So I'm really thankful for all of you. I hope you'll give Shirley a try. You're AI co-pilot for Sim the Sky, and stop by a booth this weekend. Safe flying.
Video time.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Hey guys, welcome to Providence.
X-Plane 13.
Just like always, Evan and Phil are putting on an awesome show, and we're super stoked to be here. And it's pretty nice to be in the Northeast, I have to say. I think it's the lowest OAT for an FSExpo in years. Love it. So we've got a great team here today. We're right on the heels of X-Plane 12.2, and we want to talk a little bit about that, but mainly we want to talk about what's coming next in X-Plane 12.3 and that kind of stuff. So, X-Plane 12.2 is out now. I'm sure a lot of you have been flying it in beta and that kind of thing. It comes with a fix to our favorite bug, the dark cockpit fix. A bunch of new lighting, a bunch of updated atmospheric rendering, some new aircraft braking systems, a bunch of new aircraft ground textures, which are pretty sweet. That's where you spend most of your time on the ground, so love to see that. And of course, a bunch of stability improvements. Based on the screenshots, it seems like you guys are loving it too. think the helicopter one might be my favorite. All right, so Alex, you run the art team. Do you want to talk about the gateway asset update?
Yes, so we are always doing new assets for the gateway, and sometimes we don't know what to make. So we asked you guys, and we've gotten a whole bunch of requests, and we put everything out to a vote, and we have started on the list. Now, also upcoming, you'll see the Zermatt heliport in just a second, but this is kind of the list that the community came up with, and all of the blue circles are things that we are actively working on. Some are done, some are in progress, but let's give a quick little rundown. We've got fire trucks, emergency vehicles, police cars. Here's some up close. Some police cars. Construction vehicles, because whose airport isn't always under construction? True story. More. And we've also got more ramp lighting options for you. We've got a great new scenery artist who's been doing a whole bunch of stuff for us.
Who is that new scenery artist?
Justin.
How else might they know him?
What was his thing?
Mr. X.
Mr. X. Yes, Mr. X works for us. And we've got some new ground assets too. You can add the compass roses to your ramps. We've got more colors, more labels, and all sorts of things. And then Peter, our scenery magician, has been working on hangers and a whole bunch of other things. This is just a small subset. There's about 600 combinations you can make with these parts, and there's even more. And then a couple screenshots of Zermatt. Cristiano, one of our scenery artists, has been working on this for a little while. It's a nice little Swiss Alpine heliport. And I'm going to hand it to Philip.
All right, so what you see here is now not only in the A330, but in all of our default aircraft. So what you see here is what I think the most advanced weather radar ever shipped in a flight simulator. We're shipping it with an API for the third parties to use it, and we're shipping it along with another set of enhancements for our A330 and a bunch of enhancements to the G1000, including synthetic vision. So the weather radar is completely GPU based, and it's based on the clouds you see out the window, because the GPU knows where to draw those clouds. So the weather radar is just a different shader on your GPU that looks through the clouds and simulates them for the radar. So the radar physics live on the GPU, they don't tax your CPU. And the radar also gets a ground map from which it can generate radar ground reflections. And the radar return is based on how steep and how rough the ground is on the ground normals. So what you see here is in the A330, see down there, manual tilt, 0.3 degrees. Yes, you can control the tilt. We have it integrated into the G1000. You can calculate you can change the tilt in the sector scan. This is something that I don't think anyone else has ever done. You can do a side scan and see the weather radar doing this in addition to this. So you can take a vertical slice through a cloud. So all those controls you see, why does it, oh sorry. All those controls you see on the traditional panel, all of these are simulated. You can control the gain, you can control the tilt, you can control the ground clutter. And all these controls are available for third parties as well. So all the sector scan and auto tilt functions that you get in the default plane, the third parties can access them. So, and it requires some skill to read it. So what you see here, can you make out what is the ground, what is a cloud? So with the laser pointer over here, that's a cloud. But those are ground returns. So we are in Aspen here and we're looking at the mountains. So don't fly into the mountains and try to avoid the red part of the cloud as well. So some airplanes come with more modern controls that buffer the radar return. So instead of getting an up and down tilt, they maintain a buffer of altitudes and you select, oh, the altitude I want to fly at, what does the weather look like there? And we support this type of control too. And then it classifies the weather as threatening, or whether it's just not where you're flying, then it's non-threatening. We have predictive wind shear, so that is turned on, and when you are about to fly into a microburst, it gives you the correct alert, like wind shear ahead, go around, and then you get this display here, and then you need to go around for wind shear. All the default planes in X-Plane that have a weather radar have it out of the box now, and our Baron is our demonstrator for the third party. We have 2 new APIs for third parties. One to interact with the weather, not for making radars, but for setting the weather and getting the weather more granularly in X-Plane. And we have a special new API that exposes the radar map for third parties, which they can use to make their own radars that don't have to look like ours. And we ship this as a plugin. It comes in our default Baron, but it's an open source plugin that third-party developers can use to make their own radar. All right, and on the, thank you. So on the G1000 side, we introduced synthetic vision. And you may recognize a theme here in that it's all GPU and shader based. So there's a texture that is already on your GPU. The GPU already knows the elevations because it has to draw the map. And if we have the texture with the elevations for the map, we let a different shader loose on it, and it makes you synthetic vision. So no extra VRAM, no CPU impact. It displays terrain, water, the airports, obstacles, pathways for your navigation, and it gives traffic alerts. So this is what it looks like while you're using it. So you see a real forest of obstacles back there. I don't know is there anyone here from Palm Springs? I have no idea what they do in Palm Springs that they have so many obstacles. They should really do something about that. So this is what it looks like when you encounter like AI traffic, but it's the same whether it's VATSIM, Iveo, or Pilot Edge. The traffic shows up there. This is a big obstacle. Yeah, please don't fly into that. You might not like the result. This is what a GPS approach looks like. I mean, even I can fly a GPS approach like that, just like play Mario Kart, just thread through the hoops there. Yep, and that's what the terrain looks like. All right, leaving the world of general aviation and going into the A330.
Yes, getting back to the A330, we got to start with some of the art updates that we have been making to the aircraft. So, done some better textures, we've introduced detail textures, and we've enhanced the lighting. So let's talk about all of these real quick. Better textures and materials. We've added dirt and weathering to the 330. We've improved our metallic materials. We got some new stuff a version ago, which let us make all of the metal nicer and look better, and we've taken advantage of all of it. We fixed livery issues that nitpickers around here are probably screaming at, like, why does that Air Canada have the wrong tail number? Well, we fixed it. We've improved the glare shield, which was too dark. We've enhanced brake effects, lots of other adjustments and improvements. So here's a little preview. We've got all of the dirt just coming off the windows. You can see the leading edges have the nice Airbus flat matte kind of gray leading edge that sometimes looks brighter than the paint, sometimes looks darker than the paint. It's metal, it does its thing. Another shot there. You can see the glare shield is not black anymore.
Neither is that cockpit. Nice.
Yes. And then, because we have to, we've got the particles to do it. We've now added the textures to make the brake fire. So we've got new detail textures, as you may have noticed. We can do lots of things with this. This is using the decal system that we used to have exclusively for the scenery, but we've now brought it in so that all the OBJs can use it. I think this was a version ago, but we finally get to use it here. So we have some detail in the paintwork. You can really see it in the reflections from the sun and the horizon line. You know, little orange peel warbles and everything. You can see it on the plastics here, all that molded relief detail. Of course, you know, in the back of the seat and on the pillars, you know, more of that molded plastic. Getting into the cabin, the same thing. We even have the carpet. It now has a normal decal applied to it, so it looks like carpet. We've also enhanced the interior lighting. The cockpit's got screen illumination, improved display backlights, annunciator effects, integral lighting effects, enhanced bounce from floodlights. I'm going quick, we don't have a lot of time. The cabin, enhanced 3D spills. We have a working seat belt, no smoking signs. The IFE screens have a bounce light effect. The reading lights are dynamic. There's a randomizer that turns them on and off in stages. So every time you go in the back of the cabin, it's a little bit different. We also have a thing I call auto cursor cabin lighting, which adjusts cabin lighting up and down depending upon your altitude, flight phase, time of day. So it's a little bit more real of an experience going in the back. And just a couple pictures here. You can see we've got some ambience coming from the screens. All the displays are backlit. You've got little, edge glare or edge glow coming from the backlighting themselves. We add our floods, and you can see the floods are doing more than just the floods. There's extra spill happening. And then the annunciators are in on the game too, so you get a whole bunch of extra spills happening from the actual light bulbs. And just some cabin details. And some more. It's a nice place. One more there, each class represented. And I'm gonna give this back to Philip.
I have not been back in this cabin once, but thank you.
You gotta do it, you gotta do it.
I have to do it now. I have to do it now. So, this is way more stuff than we have time for. If you have any questions about this, see me at the booth, 701, right? Like right here when you come in. Explain booth, big FMC upgrade for all default aircraft, like works with the Airbus, yep, but also works with the Citation. Yes, you get the secondary flight plan now. Yes, you can start it in the air, load an approach, and just practice an approach. There's a whole bunch of nerdy stuff in there, like we've got freezing temperature probes now, we've got aspirate temperature probes now. Yeah, nerdy stuff, talk to me at the booth if you want to know more. Okay, but this is cool. We integrated the A330 with our default ATC. So I worked with our Lufthansa pilot, like how does it work when you get a clearance on the ground? How does it work when you get your ATIS? And a lot of stuff these days works via company message and data link. So what you can do now, you can ask through the MCDU, ask for getting the ATIS, getting a weather report, and this works through the default ATC, obviously. And you can even get pre-departure clearance from ATC right through the CDU. And I think for a default aircraft, pretty cool feature to have. And everything else in the 330.
And there's just a lot here. Just go down, push it one more time, Philip.
We have more. We have more. We have better auto land. We have new sounds. Daniela made a bunch of new sounds. The auto brakes are improved, that they don't slam down the nose anymore. We improved the cruise fuel burn, so you don't no longer arrive with plenty of extra fuel.
It has the real parking brake where you twist the handle and it will set the brakes for you and actually set it in park, which it didn't do before. The new parking brake system is pretty cool. Thank you.
Yeah, and yep, weather radar fully integrated. Oh, by the way, on both sides, so if both have the same tilt, you get full refresh rate on both displays. But if one pilot tilts up and the other pilot tilts down, guess what? Half the refresh rate for everyone. Thompson, you get 10 bonus seconds.
Nice, that's awesome. I love it.
You used them already.
Okay, there you go, Ben.
So, all the art that Alex talked about is going public beta next Friday. And everything in the Airbus and the weather radar and the SVT, all of this stuff is going private beta for 12.3 next Friday. We got a German guy running our release management, and he's making the trains run on time. So the glorious future is actually right now, because this stuff is coming really soon. I want to tease you for 1 second about stuff that's going on in the lab right now. After 12.3, we're doing a bunch of stuff for performance. And one of the things we hear about a lot is use more of my CPU cores. We've made real progress on that. We have a new job system that is shipping in 12.3. It's going to run the AI aircraft, it's going to run the texture paging, and Pavel's new network sync. It's multi-core from day one. And in the lab, we have rendering running on multi-core, and this makes rendering run faster. Finally, that big block of rendering code that's bogging down your CPU, we can cut it up, we can use more cores to go faster. And this is something that we can keep on working on. We can keep finding what makes X-Plane slower, use more cores, get it in the job system, and keep going
Can you
faster.
guess our number, Ben? That's a pretty exciting number.
We've seen 30% FIPS improvements at Frankfurt, which is one of our, oh my God, test cases. We also have some promising GPU optimizations coming. We found ways to be more efficient with the GPU for cloud rendering and for night lighting, which are both really expensive on the GPU. And we think we found a way to cut down the amount of work we're doing on the runway weather effects, which is important for users running in 4K. One last area of optimization is VRAM. We're starting to use the virtual memory system on the GPU, and that means we can page on faster, we can page off faster, we're less likely to run out of memory and crash, and we can even optimize VRAM by paging out parts of the texture that don't contain anything that's actually useful.
All right, so last but not least, we are still working on the X-Plane store. We've made really big headway on the X-Plane identity system, which allows you to use a login, username, and password instead of a long X-Plane key. So that's definitely making life better for a lot of people. On the back end, we're also integrating payments and everything into our shopping cart experience. So we expect to have a lot more to share later this year. When is it coming? All right, public beta next Friday for 12.2.1. That's all of the art stuff, right?
Yes.
Yep, and then private alpha, that'll be great, and perf as soon as we can. And then, do you think you're going to get any questions on that last bit?
I don't think so,
But yeah, if you do, you can stop by the booth
If you
and
wanted
find
to know.
Ben. Awesome. And then our last event of the thing to talk about is Austin asked me to make Friday night at Expo a little spicier.
It's time for the rave. It's time we all do a rave. Everyone in here is going to do a rave. All right, so it's so much to say. I guess I don't have enough time. So first of all, thank
You have
you
1 minute and
so
42
much. I'm down to 1 minute. Thank you so much for all the work you've done. We've done so much more than this. It is ridiculous. We just had to go down to the absolute tiniest of bullet points here. And what really pisses me off, we have Daniela in South America doing sounds that would just, knock your ears off. We got Massimo in Italy doing airplanes you don't even know about yet. We got Jan doing airports. All these international people that were afraid to come here because they didn't want to get detained at the airport. Take the information for what it's worth. I find it frustrating. But we literally have a huge, about 30-40% of our team is international who are afraid to show up. Information, there it is. Okay, now let's get back to having fun. So we're gonna have a rave tonight. Thompson, what's the club that it's at?
The Salon nightclub. It's a 5-minute walk from here.
5-minute walk, the Salon
8 p.m.
nightclub, 8 p.m.
Yeah, most of
I
you
will be
are already
spinning
registered.
music, so will Swiss Nick, and we're gonna have some fun visuals up on the screen. No rave is a rave without visuals, and we're gonna do something just a little bit different than I've ever seen at a rave before. So everybody's welcome. The Salon at 8.
Yep, I know
All
that
are
most
welcome.
of you are already registered, but if not, you can do that in RegFox, I think, Evan, or we'll take credit cards at the door.
Oh, and if anyone is wondering why is X-Plane holding a rave, actually coding X-Plane used to be done in a rave-like environment, so
Exactly.
that's why.
I always code the techno, that's for sure. So this
There
is
you
gonna
go.
be situation normal for me.
All right, that was 81 slides. Thank you so much, you guys. See you tonight.
Hold on, we have 5 seconds left.
We have 20 minutes left, it says now.
Okay, I'm not sure what happened.
Clock is a lie. Back away.
Of all the features, my favorite is a brake fade. He showed you the sparks. What he didn't show you is what it feels like to lose your brakes on a rollout. I've been there in cars. It's a very sinking feeling when it happens, so you get the same feeling in X-Plane. It's not just how it looks, it's how it feels to fly.
Thank you, Austin, and the X-Plane team, guys. Let's hear for them. All right. What a day. This has been a lot of announcements, a lot of reveals, and thank you guys for sticking around and seeing this. And this is the beginning, guys. The rest of the weekend remains for the show floor. So, and we also have a couple things coming up right now today. So, a reminder, we have the attendee welcome reception that's happening right after, they took my clicker. All right, you guys have to run in the back. The attendee welcome reception is happening right after the show here in the back here. Your drink tickets are in your little registration thing inside, so that's where your drink ticket is. If you are new to the Flight Sim Expo, if this is your first year, come find me over by the Field There Tavern Tower, and I'd love to just kind of connect with you guys and help you guys get to know each other. That's going to be a lot of fun. Tomorrow, the show opens at 9 a.m. If you already have your badge, you do not need to wait in line, you don't need to go back to registration, you're already taken care of. Let me say that again. If you already have your badge, you're already registered, you're good. But please don't come a half an hour early. We want to avoid a crowd control issue. None of the exhibits are going anywhere. So please try not to come too much before like 8:55. Okay, I know everyone's got FOMO, want to be there right when it opens, but they're not going anywhere. You'll be fine. All right? Thirdly, we want to present to you this year, we're doing the Attendee Choice Award. So take your phone out right now and scan this QR code, and you're going to vote on what was the best presentation of the day today. Now get your phones out, because I'm not dismissing you for the reception until we have a number of people vote. So once you voted, please put your hand up or stand up or something so we know that you voted. But we need your votes. We're going to announce the winners on Sunday. While you're voting, reminder, if you signed up for the Captain's Dinner, that's going to be at 7 p.m. in the Junior Ballroom, which sounds adorable, by the way. There's probably a little pilot's room there too, but Junior Ballroom is going to be out to the right. That's going to be after the attendee reception. And then on Sunday, don't forget at 2:30, we're going to be announcing where the next show is for next year. Don't come ask me, I don't know, okay? All right, how many people have had a chance to vote? We need more than that. That's not a quorum. Let's go. Come on. Let's go. Keep it voting. Don't make me start telling like bad jokes up here or something. It's gonna be miserable.
Do it.
You stand up.
Oh my gosh. How many people, by the way, while you're voting, how many people this is your first expo? Oh my goodness, that is amazing. Wow, that is a lot of people for the first expo. And would you know it, our numbers are up from last year this year here in Providence. So that's a lot of new people, and that's a lot to show for that. So thank you guys for coming. How many people have been to all of the expos? All right, there's a few of you. There's a few of you.
They got an award?
No. No award. Your reward is coming to all the expos. It was awesome, wasn't it? All right, how many people have had a chance to vote? All right, that's a much better quorum. You guys can go get some drinks, have fun, mingle, get to know each other. Don't forget to say meow.
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 So, meine Freunde. So, meine Freunde, das soll es gewesen sein von den Announcements. Gehen wir hinten raus. Aje. Ganz viele neues Zeug. Ja, mein Akku, meine Powerbank, besser gesagt, hat jetzt auch nur noch 30%. Dementsprechend, ups, die Kamera verabschiedet sich gerade. So. Dementsprechend muss ich jetzt hier auch gleich mal Schluss machen und meine Akkus wieder aufladen. Sowohl die von den Handy als auch meine eigenen vom Gimbal hier, damit ich euch morgen auch wieder versorgen kann. Ja, morgen wird's. Jetzt aber. Bin ich wieder da. Jetzt aber. Bin ich wieder da. Gut. Ihr hattet ja gefragt, ja, WinWing Sachen tatsächlich.